Hello everyone, welcome to Monday. It's March 1st. We've made it to March 2021. Well folks, March is coming in like a lamb. Boy, the first 3 days of the month will give everybody a little bit of spring fever. We've got some high pressure and some warmer air coming our way. It's going to be mild, no record-breaking temperatures, but we're not going to have that much wind. We'll have some, but the sunshine, that sun climbing higher in the sky, these longer days, really have some impact, and in all areas through Wednesday looks great. Some areas are going to have really good weather all the way through Saturday. Now we're going to have a small Colorado storm that gets into Colorado, western Kansas, and maybe far southern Wyoming again this week. We're starting to see a pattern emerge here where we're getting these small storms coming off the west coast and moving in to the region. There could be some beneficial rains and snows for some areas that really need it in the eastern plains of Colorado and western Kansas this week. We'll take a look at that. This is a bowling ball weather pattern. You're saying, well, what is he talking about? What does he mean by a bowling ball weather pattern? I'll show you that. A bowling ball weather pattern is something that we see sometimes, not always, as we get into March and April, and it can lead to an active weather pattern across the United States. First of all, let's take a look at February. Now that we've got February in the rear view mirror, if we were to look at the North American continent, averaging temperatures compared to normal for the month of February, you can see from the north slope of Alaska all the way to the Gulf Coast, off the coast of Mexico, temperatures were below average for the month of February, with the coldest of cold relative to average in this part of the nation right here, where you see the purple and the blue. Temperatures in Greenland, northeastern Canada for the month of February, although they've turned a lot colder recently, ended up above average. But you'll see that. You'll see these big displacements of Arctic air that make lower North America a lot colder than average, while it's warmer than average in those higher latitudes, because you're displacing the normal air up there and putting it further south. So February, one to remember for sure when it comes to that shift to colder weather. If you were to zoom in and take a closer look at the lower 48 states, you can see that almost all of the lower 48 states, with the exception of California, look how warm Florida was, parts of Mexico and the desert Southwest, but even those areas really weren't that much above average. It was a cold month for just about everybody. Now let's take a look at what's going to evolve this week. This is the upper level pattern at 500 millibars, or 18,000 feet for the continental United States and North America. You can see that cold air is locked up over areas north of Hudson Bay, but southwest winds aloft coming into the Rockies here with a little bit of high pressure. So that's going to lead to the mild weather we're going to enjoy here for the start of the week. This little area of low pressure will produce a little bit of moisture down in southeastern New Mexico and West Texas today, but will slide off and really not be much of a weather maker for the region. This guy is what may come in and will affect Colorado, Kansas, and far southern Wyoming's weather as we get into Thursday and Thursday night. We'll show you how that will evolve. Now, here we go into Wednesday morning. So this is the change from this morning to Wednesday morning. Now, notice how this is a closed low. This kind of looks like a bowling ball. Got to work with me here a little bit, but you're going to see what I'm going to talk about here in a moment. You see this other little low right here? We start to see these cutoff lows from the main jet stream, which is up here. You start to see this in the spring sometimes, where these systems spin off from the main flow, but still drift across the United States, just not as fast. That is a real sign of the seasons wanting to change. Now, these little bowling ball lows can cause a lot of weather as they traverse the United States. So on Wednesday morning, we've got this low off the southern California coast. California going to get some rain this week, which they really, really need. Now, as we go into the days ahead, what you're going to see is a southwest wind flow ahead of this system that is going to pump in more warm air. That's why Wednesday is going to be the warmest day of the week. These are forecasted high temperatures relative to normal for Wednesday, pushing in some really warm air into here. So a nice warm up. Wednesday going to be one of the warmer days of the week for the region. But as you go into Thursday, this is where the system ends up Thursday. It stays detached from the main jet stream, but it continues to show its ball-like shape here with a low in southeastern Colorado. Now, what's interesting about this system is that it's cut off There's no real cold air intrusion into the storm. If you don't get that cold air intrusion, you're not going to have a big March snowstorm. But what we're likely going to see as this system drifts across Colorado into western Kansas, there's going to be some areas of rain and snow here. Yes, I said rain. Since we're cut off from the cold here, the system may produce more rain than snow, at least for the plains as it moves in. But it could bring some really needed rain to some really dry areas of eastern Colorado and western Kansas. Now, as we get into Saturday, this low here does get brought into the jet stream here, and it's right here by the end of the week. Now, this is probably going to be a big weather maker for the East Coast, while a ridge of high pressure builds in behind it for a big warm-up after the system moves in, so another area of high pressure. Yep, you guessed it. Here's the next bowling ball that's likely going to swing in behind as we get into Saturday night and Sunday. However, it's forecasted at the moment to take more of a northerly track, but we'll keep an eye on it. So the next system will come in Saturday night and Sunday with another system up here, another system up here. And as we go out further, if we were to look into the weekend of the 12th, 13th, and 14th time frame, well, we've got another bowling ball coming in, this time a little bit of a bigger one. So even though March is coming in like a lamb, it looks like the middle to the end of the month, things are going to pick up and get a little bit more stormy, something we're going to be watching for you. This is what the precipitation forecast looks like through Friday afternoon. And you can see, let's hope this comes to fruition. They really, really need the rain there. That would really go a long way to help things out. Now you can see the northern extent of the low just gets to the I-80 corridor of Wyoming, back to the I-15 corridor and I-80 corridors of Utah down into northern Arizona. So these areas, even though we're going to start off the week with 3 days of mild, warm, and dry conditions, the system Thursday into Thursday night may be a little bit of a weather maker. Now notice all the moisture right here, but if we were converted to snow, well, the snow stays over the higher elevations because that storm can't draw in that colder air. So right here, this could be more rain than snow. Thanks for listening to and watching the Day Weather Podcast. Have yourself a good Monday. We'll see you on Tuesday.